Hello?
What's going on?
Hey, did you watch the live with Kevin Samuels?
I watched it, yeah.
Okay, what do you want to say?
Well, I think you guys like to pick your own facts and use facts towards whatever.
Pick your own facts?
Yeah, so you would take something he said about something else and add it to something totally different.
Explain.
Well, I can't come up with one right now. It's gonna come up though. About this conversation. But
So you have a passionate opinion and you can't even back it up?
I'm gonna back it up, but then you all want to go back to the point that kept cutting you off because you wasn't answering the questions directly.
Well,
Yeah, age, or most women do this. What's your age? Well, they say I look 34.
I didn't do that. I told my age from the beginning.
Well,
no, but let's not make.
And what
let's talk about what happened and what you want to say about that.
Okay,
let's talk. Yeah.
When he asked you towards the end, give the age where women should get married or
Okay, I'm not. So when I first came on the live, I answered that, and the reason I can't answer it the way he wants to answer it because I know. Because prime example, I know I was trying to get this, but he wouldn't let me say this. I had a friend that got married in her 20s and had babies, and then got divorced, and then because she wasn't happily married, she did it out of this is what I'm supposed to do. And then when she got divorced, her life was forever changed because now she has to still be connected to this man, but she's no longer with this man. So I know a person, my friend right now, like me, a career woman, got married last October, is pregnant due any day this week, and she's 40. So the fact of the matter is I had factual information for my answer. So what's wrong with that?
That's the person. We could bring for every scenario. We're going off.
Okay, well then if that's the case, then you have to honor that. You can't get mad at me for telling you my reality. You asking me a question. So if I have to answer it from my reality, why is that so wrong? I believe a woman should be married before she has children. I don't believe a woman should just get married just to get married. I don't believe a woman should rush to have a baby at 23 if she's not ready to be a mother. I don't believe that, so I'm not going to say that.
But he never said that.
He wasn't allowing me. He was telling me to give an age. Okay, so if there's anything that I did wrong, if I should have said the age range, I guess is when my age range is when you're married. That's what I would say. Whenever you get married, that's the time you think about having kids.
But that's once you guys go picking your own facts. He never said that you should rush to get a baby. He never.
Well, no, but I think when the live was over, he talked about women should be in their 20s to have children. And I felt like instead of wanting an answer, just allow me to answer. I felt like, because there are certain things I agree with Kevin said, and I think I said that in our exchange. But there were certain things I was just trying to answer it, and he wouldn't allow it. And if I answered it, he took it the wrong way. So
he said, "Give me." Then he got to the point because he asked you about 5 times. He got to the point. Give me a number.
Because I can't. Okay, that's what it was. I can't give. But my answer is I can't give you a number.
Then you said, give me a range. You didn't do it. You kept going into stories. So
that's fair. That's fair.
The questions you guys want to give these bios with everything.
Well, no, there's not necessarily a bio, but the answer is this. If you were to ask me what age I would tell women to have babies, I would say once you are a wife, focus on having a child. And I don't know what age. That age is different for every single woman. That's my answer.
Okay.
So I don't. Okay. Well, anything else that you want to say?
I mean, I got a lot to say, but
Okay. What else you want to say? I will go to some. What else did you want to say?
Oh, it's real funny how most black people, you women, they don't agree with something. How you gonna tell a man what he wants? A man could send you guys to the grocery store. I want orange juice. You come back with pineapple. No, you don't want orange juice. You want pineapple juice.
Who said that? What are you talking about?
They came on your live. You guys get mad at Kevin because.
But listen, real quick, for the sake of this, because if not, I'll go to somebody else. You have to give an example. You just giving.
For example, every woman that came on your live gets mad and say he's this, he's that. He's telling you from a man perspective what men want. Then you guys mix up. Oh, I should settle. No, he's not saying settle. He's saying as you get older, if you want a high value man, however you want to label that, you're not going to get it with those requirements.
Okay, one thing I will say, and I didn't disagree with that because I said that a lot of things that he's.
The lady that just came off, she just said,
Well, I don't. No, I think Kevin cleared this up for me because I was always under the impression he had this idea of if you're a certain age and you have children, there's no man for you. But he cleared that up in our. Hold on, he cleared that up in our dialogue and said that that's not what he was saying. He's not saying that. He was saying the likelihood of a six-figure guy would not necessarily want you. So I always thought, because sometimes it does come across like, I mean, I've heard him say before, like, oh, you have 3 kids, you're 40, you're 43, you're overweight, no man wants you.
They were asking for high value men. So of course, as you get older, you have kids, divorce, or I'm sorry, you've never been married. You got 2 baby daddies. Yeah. Can you get a guy? That's all they want to say. Oh, I've been engaged, or I could get a guy and all that. Yeah, you could get a guy because guys want to do what? Yeah, guys tell you look beautiful because they want to do what? And as soon as they get you in bed, get what they want, them text messages, them calls, and them phone calls start to decrease if they don't happen anymore at all. And that's what y'all get so caught up on. Then the strong black woman stuff also, that just cracked the hell out of me. You can't.
I thought I was trying to, I thought I was trying to be as respectful as possible. I still got to be myself, but I mean, I'm going to be myself, and that's just, I don't make any, and my thing is this, like, you don't have to agree with a strong black woman, but I just feel like the men in my personal circle, and they are very successful men, they like that. They like strong black women. They like women who have opinions and can articulate and not afraid to tell them about themselves. Like, so this is new. It's I swear to you, it's new to me when I hear men say that they don't value women talking like that.
Strong black woman.
Huh?
Are they married though?
Yes.
They're married.
Yes, they're married. Married and wealthy. Yes.
Well, we got to bring up money, but are they married?
Yes, they're married.
Hold on. Married, and are these women talking back, cutting them off, and all that other stuff? Like, I mean, because that's what you was kind of doing.
I don't think I was talking back and cut. It's talking back, disagreeing and not saying what you want me to say. That's talking back.
No, you could disagree all you want. You could disagree all you want. That ain't talking back. But
I feel like I have to say this. I have to disagree with that. I feel like, because I'm not sure if you're familiar with me at all, but people who watch me know I'm just as bad as Kevin, and I didn't take that approach with Kevin because I was on his platform. So there's a lot of times I just allowed him to speak because it's his platform. So I don't agree with the talking back. Now, I could disagree like I'm disagreeing with you right now, and if you call this talking back, then so be. I almost feel like instead of just engaging in a conversation, you as Kevin are just like, well, you're saying this to me and I'm the man, so as a female, you shouldn't even be talking to me like this. That's kind of what I'm gathering. And I just got to be honest, I'm not used to men like that. I know the men in my circle are not like that. And they're successful and they're married.
Well, I never said that.
Are you married? Are you married?
No, I'm not married.
Why are you not? How old are you?
I'm 34.
Why are you not married?
Why?
Yeah, why? Because I mean, according to Kevin, you're 30. You're successful, right?
Yeah, you can say that.
Okay, you're attractive. So you have the Oasis. Why are you not married?
It's not that many marriageable black women in Chicago.
Not that many marriageable black women in Chicago.
No, they're not, because Chicago women are aggressive. Then you guys beat black men down, and you go. I mean,
we beat black men down. We're the first one.
What you're doing right now is kind of like if you tell me how black men act towards you, then I'll just start.
What am I doing right now? What am I doing right now?
What I just said, that, basically like I'm making it up. I'm full of shit or whatever.
Well, I will say this. Just like Kevin gets offended when black women say things about black men, I get offended when black men say things about black women, because black women are the first one to stand up for you when something's wrong. Yes. What is there another race of a woman that's standing up for you? Race?
Look, if we don't get married to black women, we marry outside our race. Black women don't do that. Prime example, you say that, look at how they beat Kevin down. As soon as they disagree with the man, what they want to do, they want to call him gay. They want to call him all this stuff off no facts. Nothing came out. But long as a person like Steve Harvey telling you wait 90 days and selling you all these dreams, or Derek Jackson telling you all this BS stuff and beating down black men, y'all agree with him. Y'all love him and all this other stuff. Did the
well, let me just cut you off real quick. I was never, hold on 1 second, to clarify a couple things. I was never a Derrick Jackson fan. I never supported Derrick Jackson.
What are we talking about?
Huh?
I'm talking about the mass of women.
Okay, well let me just jump in. So for that, I never agreed with him. I will say this. If there's, and I couldn't get this out with Kevin, I think this would have been a whole other thing. I do think if you're a person who preach marriage and it's important, then why not be married? Because at least Steve Harvey is married. And in the men that I know,
twice.
Right, twice, you're right, but he's married right now.
Divorced twice too, but he's 10 years younger. So he still got 10 more years to go.
Okay, well listen, that's fair. That's fair. I would just say that a lot of times I wanted to engage with Kevin, but a lot of the advice that I take are from my married men that are in my life. If that's like, so I just feel like if you want to aspire to be something, you should be that. If you are preaching marriage, that's all. But for whatever reason, he had his choice. He decided not to be married no more, whatever the case may be. I don't know the whole history. But if he could decide to be a divorced person, then another woman could decide to be a divorced person.
Yeah, they can. There's nothing wrong with getting divorced. But the thing is, see, y'all want a traditional man. And then you want to come back and say, oh, I don't believe in gender roles. Right? When it benefits you guys. So you want a traditional man, but you want to be a modern woman when it comes to y'all roles. So it's basically when it come down to cook, oh, I don't believe in gender roles. But when we pull up to the gas station, you expecting me to get out and pump.
Okay. All right, Boo, listen. I'm gonna go to someone else because they're saying go to somebody else. But I appreciate you coming on, and I wish you much success in your dating world. I hope it works out for you.
Huh?
I
don't have no problems dating.
Yeah, I know you don't have a wife either. So okay.
I mean,
let's keep it going. Let me see. I'm gonna make it fair. I don't know who this is. Our dating show is tomorrow night. Hello? We can't see your face. Hello?
Hello.
Did you watch the live with Kevin Samuels?
Yes, I did.
Okay, what do you want to say, babe?
The question that he asked was, knowing what you know, would you tell a younger woman in her 20s whose priority was to have a family and kids to sacrifice that for a career?
My answer would be no. I wouldn't tell her to do that.
And you wouldn't give him an answer. You kept going around and around. That was the problem.
No, he was asking for an age. And that's where it got complicated for me. Because he was saying, what age would I tell a woman? And I would not tell a woman at 26 to have a baby because she wants to have a family. I would not tell her that.
He didn't say to have a baby.
My answer, I was trying to say that I know a woman that had a baby in her 20s. I know a woman that's pregnant right now. So my answer is when you are ready to be married, then that's when you should focus on having a child. Why is that so hard? Why is that so mean? Like, I don't understand.
Because that wasn't the question he asked. If there's a woman that's her priority and that's what she values in life,
listen, I think
what age should she start to do that? Should she start to do that in her 40s, or should she start to look for a mate that she could build with and have a family and meet in college? Because that's who you grow with.
Well, no, I mean, I have to respectfully just say that yes, it can happen that way, and it can also happen other ways. And I mean, if a woman is 25 and she knows she wants to have children and be a wife or a mom, but she's not ready, I'm not going to tell her to have a baby. Like, why is this such a hard thing to hear me say that?
Because you keep throwing having a baby at 20, and that was never the question. That was never even a part of what he was saying.
He was asking me to give him an age range.
An age range. If you value having a family, when should you start to look for a mate? When is the ideal age to start to look for a mate? You started saying, I don't want to have a baby in my 20s. That was never what he said.
What I should have said is I can't answer that question because I feel like everybody's individual life is different. And what may work for one may not work for the other. So I can't give you an age that is the law because everybody's life is different.
That
So
is true.
I mean, maybe that's what I should have said. Maybe I should have said everybody's life is different. So depending on where you are in your life, and if you feel like this is the moment, then so be it. But I can't say that. I couldn't give an age. So if that's what I did, then I apologize. Okay. That's all I can do at this moment. Damn.
The cusp of what he was saying was, you are a grown woman. You've been in your 20s. Now you're in your 40s. Where in that age group was more advantageous to you to start a family? When is it going to be easier for you health-wise? Is it going to be easy for you in your 40s, or is it going to be easier for you in your 20s or your 30s?
I don't know if that
So
was
instead of telling people that are young and have the opportunity to, okay, let me get someone my age, let me build with them, and let's have a family together. Instead of doing that, let me just sacrifice that altogether and just focus on my career,
but
which is going to be the smarter option.
but see, that's where I disagree because when I was in my 20s, I was engaged and I could have been married and I would have had babies, but that wasn't right for me. So, and I don't have no
For
regret
you,
decision. But okay, you asking me, so I got to answer the question, like you know. So I really think the problem is this. I honor what you're saying, right? I honor the fact that it's easier to have a baby in your 20s, but it's possible to have a baby in your 40s. It is possible. Is it going to be more difficult? Absolutely. But can it be done? Absolutely.
at a
So
greater expense for most
I don't
people.
know why that hurts to they're both facts. Like why can't the what I chose for my life be my facts and I'm okay with that? Like it's almost like y'all want me to say I regret that decision. I wish I made a decision. I don't have no regrets.
The I think the point he was trying to make is there are too many women that are in their 60s and alone. And they have great careers, they have great money, they have all that good stuff. But what does that really show? There's no legacy there. You don't have any children. You're the cool aunt that goes to everybody's house, but you
Are you
don't have any family unit of your own. So it
are you
depends on what you value. If you
I,
value career, then you made the right choice. But if
can
you value family and children, then you would want to make another choice. I
can
think
I ask
that's
you a question?
basically what he was trying to say.
Got you. Can I ask you a question? Are you married?
Sure. No,
How old are you?
45.
So you're 45 and you're not married. So are you gonna die alone?
No,
So why can't a woman who's 45 and not married also have the same luxury that you have?
I didn't say that.
Okay, then that case closed. We agree on something. Thank you for coming on, babe. Because that's your reality could be the woman's reality too. I think we're like men are getting this. I'm 45. I don't
But
got kids. Hold on,
you're missing
because I want to hang
one
up
main
on you. I
key.
want to hang up on you because I will. It's my show now. So
You're
I'm trying to be
missing one main
respectful.
key though.
Well, okay. Well, look, here's the deal. Okay, I'm gonna do a Kevin Samuels and control the narrative because now you on my platform. So the guy could be 45 and no kids and have no fear with dying alone, but the woman needs to be afraid her whole entire life of being 45 and not having kids and dying alone. That's that double standards. Just like that brother could meet a woman that he wants to be with, a 45-year-old woman could meet a man that she wants to be with, and maybe he ain't rich. Okay, I'll give you that. Maybe he's not a six-figure guy, but it doesn't mean she's not going to meet a person and that she should just give up on life and now here you have it. No. So if the guy can have the luxury, why can't the female? Let me get this guy's here. I'm gonna get a female and then I'm gonna go back to the guys.
Hi,
Hello.
Kendra.
Hi.
So I am like so drained listening to these men. I'm like, what in the hell is like really in the water? Girl, first of all, I was cringing listening to the live with you and Kevin. But to the point of the age range that he wanted and that these men keep trying to come on and reiterate, you didn't say the age, you didn't say the age. It's like you said, why is it so hard to grasp the concept that you don't have an answer for that. Like, because everybody's circumstances are different. Everybody has kids at different ages. And so, no, I can't give you a range. Like, I don't get it. I felt like Kevin is not open to real dialogue at all. Like, he's literally, what he says is the Bible. Okay. He goes in with this intention of, I'm going to ask you a question, but if you don't say what I want you to say, it's like, ma'am, hold on, no, ma'am, lady. Like, did you ask me a question? Like, it's crazy. I'm sitting here like, this man is a sociopath. And the fact that you have these men, these men that are not married, don't have a woman, and they sitting here vouching for his mess because he's like misogynistic. It's like so disgusting to me. But I wanted to, what I think when I seen, the first thing that came to my mind when I seen that you were live with him was, why is Kendra live with him?
You know what? No, let me say this. I wanted to go live with him because there are certain things that I will say that I cannot necessarily say I agree with, but there's things that he says that men have said that I've heard men say. So, okay. You know, and that is fact. I've heard men say looks matter, weight matters, you know, I don't really care what she makes, the feminine part matters. So there was that. But I felt like there's so much conversation with Kevin Samuels right now, and I wanted to have my own dialogue. You know, we had shared some DMs here and there back in December, but we've never spoken. That was our first time speaking. And a lot of times when I would watch the videos of him, I'm like, okay, was the woman being disrespectful? Was he? So I wanted to have my own moment. But just like I was on, you was watching him. So any woman that is saying, why am I on with him? You watched him. Do you follow him?
No. I was watching him because I follow you.
Okay, got you. Fair enough.
And I got the notification that you were going live.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But it was just like.
Fair enough.
You know,
I have no regrets going on his show. I really don't. Okay. Because now I can make my own personal opinion because I have my own personal experience.
Right.
And I just agree to disagree with certain things. Yeah. And one thing you pointed out though, all the men that agree with him that came on this show so far are single.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's funny to me that these non-married men are saying all these things. If that's the case, where's your wife?
Exactly.
Because the married men that I know don't speak about their wives like this. Exactly. And they're successful. So we're going down I don't know how Russell Simpson's is a simp, but whatever. They're very successful men and they speak very highly of their wives. Yeah. So this whole narrative of she needs to listen to me and you a single man, so where your wife at? You going to die alone too.
Right. And this whole little concept of this high value man that he's coined and this whole men are to be celebrated and not us. It's like, sir, like, how bad were you abused by women growing up? Like, I really feel like this man was like abused by women all his life, and like you have it out to like just tear women down at any chance you get. Because, and again, I believe in this theory that you will catch more bees with honey than you do with vinegar. So it's never about what you say, it's about how you say it, because people are able to receive you better when you say things in a way that, you know, have a better tone, have a better delivery. You can't be condescending, even if what you're saying is factual. If I'm saying it in a condescending way, it's going to be hard for me to receive it because you're being condescending, your tone is off, you talking about man, lady. Like you said, he know your name. Come on, like.
Yeah, like that to me was kind of weird. Because you came on and said Kendra, then all of a sudden it's ma'am, lady. Like, you know my name, Kevin. Like, you know my name is Kendra. You said it clearly when I came on the live.
Exactly.
There's no need for that. But, you know, get it. I went on his show, so you got it. It is what it is. Thank you for coming on, girlfriend.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
Bye, baby.
Bye-bye.
Let me see. We'll do this a little bit longer. Let me get a guy, though. I'm going to get a guy. I just feel like there's so much. We just trying to break each other down so much. JD, I'm coming to you. And then, child, what time is it? I know it got to be late. Don't forget, the single show is tomorrow night. If you single, come on the show tomorrow night. Hello, what's your name, boo?
Oh, my name's Joshua. How are you?
Hi, Joshua.
So I wasn't going to get on until I heard you make the comment about married men, basically, how nobody was basically offering a male perspective from married men, right?
Okay.
So just to give some quick context, I married my wife, met her in college. We've been married, it'll be 10 years in December. We've been together for almost 15. So I say all of that to simply say, I want to take the time just to acknowledge you first, because I do appreciate the way you handle talking to him. As someone who watches Kevin, I do notice that there's a certain tone that he takes when speaking to women versus men, just being objective. And I do think that it was difficult while you two were talking to really have meaningful dialogue, because the line of questioning was guiding towards a certain point that I think he wanted to make.
Right.
I do also think, though, whether it was intentional or unintentional, and I don't want to beat a dead horse because I think some of the other gentlemen kind of spoke to it a little bit. There were opportunities for you to be explicit in whatever answer you wanted to give. And though I think you were trying to give some narrative behind what you were going to have as your answer so that he had a perspective on why you were saying those things, I do feel like because it was happening repeatedly, it felt like at some points you were trying to evade the question.
Well, I think how we hung up is because he was asking me the question about the age range of when I would tell a girl to have a baby. And all I would say, like you said, we said that a couple of times on the show, I don't have an age range. Like I think he wanted me to say, if you want to be a mother and you want to have kids, have a baby by 23 or 24 or, in your 20s. Like, you should be focused on that at that time. But that's not necessarily what I believe. So.
No, absolutely. But I do think that one of the questions he gave, for example, right, which you've already acknowledged that you couldn't really answer it maybe the way he wanted when he was asking for a number, right? He was just like asking you about essentially based on your personal experiences, right? And being a woman now that we would consider, I forgot what goes right after the danger zone. Is it no man's land or whatever the case is, right? For 40 years old. I forgot the official term. My point was he was basically trying to say, through your personal experience, is there anything that you can offer women based off of their perspective, which was these women who might want to prioritize something other than a career.
But see, but see, this is where the context matters, because again, all I can do is live by my experience, right? And I know my college roommate got married in her 20s and had babies and then got divorced because she wasn't happy. And she did it because she thought that's what you're supposed to do, that you're supposed to marry this guy, have a child, and be a wife. And she wasn't happy. And then she ended up getting a divorce. So that's why I was like, I don't want to preach that, because I mean, ultimately, I just feel like how about this? You got to be responsible for any decision that you make, right? So as a 41-year-old woman, I still don't have kids. I might want to have kids one day. So I froze my eggs. If I get at 43 and I decide I want to have kids and biologically I can't, I have those eggs there. That's just what it is. But I have to accept that. That was a choice that I made that led me here. And I don't have any regrets for that, though. And
oh, no, absolutely.
I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. And I think at least, maybe not in that particular moment, but at least in this life, you're doing a great job, obviously, of conveying that, right?
Well, because you're allowing me to convey it. He wasn't allowing me to convey it.
Possibly. Like I said, I understand the nature and how that conversation was going, but I do think the point when he was trying to just say, give me a number, give me a range, I kind of felt the same way as him at that point, because it was like you kept telling the story and it was like, you don't necessarily have to agree with him, but you should have a position that could be quantifiable. And you did that again in this live where you said, if you would have, if I could have said 20 to 45, that answer would have sufficed. Maybe not for him. Not for him, but for me, I'm saying.
Wait, to be clear, though, I wouldn't have said 24 or 20. Oh, yeah.
No, you said 22, 45,
okay,
the range, right? And I'm saying, all I'm saying is that I can't speak for Kevin. I'm not going to speak for another man. But I'm saying because I had a similar sentiment at that point where I was like, I just want to hear a number from you because I understand your journey is different. And I'm saying the fact that you didn't give a number there, but then here you said I would have gave 20 to 45.
You know what? Honestly,
it's a big ass range, but I'm saying for me
honestly, I wouldn't have said that either.
Perspective.
Honestly, I wouldn't have said that because I don't really even feel that. I know a person that had a baby at 47. So
okay.
So I just think that you gotta just. Here's the answer. It's definitely younger. The younger you are, the easier it will be to have your own child. If you decide not to, you have to know if you get older, you might have challenges and you might have to be open to other options. Maybe I should have said.
No, exactly. And I think ultimately that's the message I get from him, because one of the things I think gets lost in it, and some people spoke on it, but it really is the power of how something is delivered, right? The message could be lost in because of the messenger.
Okay.
And the one issue that I feel like that happens is that the moment somebody, and obviously a lot of what he's talking to at this moment is catering towards the Black woman in that narrative. So I'm going to speak from that perspective. And what I see is that he'll say something, and again, he's not speaking just from his own personal, I'm Kevin Samuels, I'm living, and this is my life, and this is law, but speaking from a combination of his personal, possibly, but more so from his professional lens of the men that he meets and speaks with and interacts with. And then they talk, and the first thing they want to target him on is a personal attack, as if the credibility of what he's saying is lost based on whether he can implement it or not.
Well, first of all,
and the only reason I mention that,
to be clear, that assumption wasn't made by a woman. A guy on the show implied that, not a woman.
No, well, I've heard it from a few, but I don't want to focus on that. I was only just bringing that part up because I felt like there's an overarching message that I wanted to convey, which is you can still get his message and take the meat and spit the bones out. There's certain things that he's going to say that I do think are maybe not 100% accurate, but they're more probable than not. They're more likely than not.
Okay.
And that's the part. And that's the part that I feel like gets lost, is that when he says something about, well, listen, I'm not saying you need to get married by 25. I'm not saying you have to have a kid before 35. But what he is saying is that if you want a chance to have certain success relative to those things, you're giving yourself a better chance when you incorporate the science, the statistics of the risks that are associated, not just with older women, but let's be honest, Black women are treated like shit in the medical field. I know this again because I have a wife and I've been with her. She educates me. So we have conversations about these things. And so me understanding that firsthand, being married to a Black woman, and then also understanding some of the things she's saying, I may not have the same philosophy in terms of why I would say those things, but I understand the intent. And I do agree with the overarching message, which is, for example, 2 days ago, he had a show that was titled Men Cheat, or High Value Men Cheat. I forgot the exact title, but it was referring to men cheating. But obviously he's speaking about the high value man. And the issue is that a lot of these women did not feel comfortable with the fact that they would potentially have to marry a high value man and still get cheated on and do these other things. So there were conversations happening. And one of the messages I took from it before he even said it was, I think he's trying to paint a picture that at the end of the day, maybe what you think you want isn't exactly what you want. And it's okay. And it's okay to compromise or to pivot from that idea. Meaning you can still have a man who's ambitious, do all these other things. Maybe he doesn't have to literally be in a 1% earner, but if he makes a decent enough earning that you two can still have a meaningful family, that's okay. The difference is that many women on his show, when they're talking to him about this, they define that as settling.
Well, let me jump in, because I agree with that. I actually led with that. And I even said that I don't want to date men that, because I hate the whole high value, but for the sake of this, because we all know we're talking about men of a certain tax bracket or a certain income, what I realized is a lot of them can't be faithful. And I accept that they can't be faithful because you have to accept the guy for who they are, but I don't want to deal with that. So when I said, well, that's not my goal no more, like I'm not focusing on the money, then he was like, well, you're not going to be with this guy. So it's like, okay, I agree with you to not focus on this type of guy, but then you telling me the other guy, I can't date him either. So it's like, what I gather is I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if you don't with him. That's how I felt.
Okay, and I think that's fair, honestly, because you spoke about just the mindset of what the takeaway is when following the conversations or interactions with him, right? You're dejected. You don't feel inspired. You don't feel like encouraged. You're feeling like, man, this is an uphill battle. Why am I even trying, right? I think that was one of the messages that you said earlier, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I just felt like I was trying to have a dialogue, but even when I brought up the example, because I always hear about the word settle. So I asked him, like, would you recommend a woman be with a guy who cheats on her or no man at all? And then he got mad that I said that. Why are you bringing up the negative? And it's like, what? I mean, obviously, the positive is just I was just curious. Does he feel like a woman should be with a man? Is a woman should be with a man regardless, or single and happy could be an option?
Well, and I'm not going to speak again. I'm not going to speak for that man. He can speak for himself. He has his own show. I will say this though, based on the question he asked and then that retort you gave him, it felt like it went from one extreme that he painted possibly, and you replying with another extreme.
Okay, well,
and so
I appreciate him allowing me to go on the platform to have the dialogue. So, you know, it was what it was. And I thank you for coming on, babe.
All right, I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, bye, babe. All right, we'll go a little longer. Tomorrow night is the single show. If you're single and you want to meet somebody, we do it Friday and Saturday nights. There's so many people. Let me get a girl, but then I'm gonna get a guy because I feel like, you know, the guys got a lot to say, and I don't mind listening to what y'all got to say. So let's see what this is. This list is long. So, hello, hey girl.
Hi, Kendra.
Hi, boo. What you want to say?
I really appreciate how you represent women. I really appreciate how you went on the show and you conducted yourself. I watch your live on Fridays and Saturdays, and I know how you can get. So I appreciate how you conduct yourself. And I also, like I said, I appreciate the hope you give to women because I'm 25 years old and I haven't found, you know, the one yet. I'm approaching, I guess, the danger zone soon. And it's not uplifting, it's not encouraging. And I just appreciate you for doing what you do.
I appreciate you, girlfriend. Don't be discouraged. Focus on yourself and focus on date accordingly. And don't give up. You're 25, girl. You're good.
I'm working on a master's degree. I'm not worried about Kevin and the high value man and nothing like that. I'm working on me. So
thank you so much. Man.
Have a good night.
Bye. All right, let me get a guy. Okay. Yes, it is nighttime, so people gonna have on bedtime attire. Let me get a guy next. Jonathan, I'm gonna come to you. I actually have tomorrow off from the radio station, so that's why I could be up so late. Hello.
Hey, Kendra, how you doing? Get some light on here.
Thanks, baby.
There we go.
I can't. Hi.
Can you hear me?
Did you watch the live with Kevin?
I did.
What do you want to say?
Well, I thought it was a good debate. I thought it was a good discussion. I do think he speaks a lot of truth. I do think also that what you were saying is from your perspective and from your point of view. You know, I think he was more so using you as an example of many other women in your position. All right. Like there are a lot of women who do things kind of like you do. And they may not have the same experience as you, but there's a lot of them that represent the same thing out there. So I think he was trying to get at the point, like you kind of like an outlier or you're like an exception to the normal things that happen. But most women in that position, they want to be married. They want a man, leave a high value man and things like that. But they may be doing the wrong things. And those men that they want don't necessarily, and I know this has been said over and over and over, but they don't necessarily maybe want the women in that position. And a lot of women don't like that because it's a lot of hard truth. But like you saying, if it's your decision as a woman to do that, then that's fine. But many women do that for other reasons, and then they get upset a lot of times that these men don't necessarily want that. And they kind of value other things that men don't value. And watching your live, I see a lot of women been saying things like, these men don't know what they're talking about, or they Kevin Samuels stands. But the thing is, Kevin Samuels, he may say a lot of hard truths and things like that, but he really does represent a lot of things that men, not just high value men, but men in general think and feel. And also in this day and age, I think these truths that's coming from men haven't been coming from men for a long time. Well, I would say they haven't been coming from men, but they haven't been exposed from men in a long time. And it's kind of hard for women to hear because they've been pampered to a lot and their feelings have been caught. I don't say that in a disrespectful way, but that's the truth. So that's why he's getting a lot of response from men, from low value to high value men. And it's coming off kind of rough because men have been holding this in for a very long time. So it's coming out like, boom, we got somebody who can speak for us. You know, it's coming off kind of rough. But all in all, the general basis measure what he's saying is that, you know, men want a certain thing. And if you're going to be a woman who's going to get married to a man, traditionally, you kind of got to get with his program. We talk about men of substance. Now, men who going to, you know, do right, treat the woman right, all that good stuff. You know, you got to get on his program. And it's kind of, there's a lot of backlash going to women because they haven't really been told this from men. And now it's coming from a man perspective.
So first, I respect everything you said. And I do think men deserve a platform to speak. You know, in hosting a dating show, the women come on my show and they will say how they feel about the men all the time. And then once a man does it, they get offended. And I had to check that at one point. So I do believe that you guys do deserve your platform. Are you married?
No.
Okay, you're not married. So here's just the thing that I go by, again, my perspective. Every married man that I know and is a high value man, they would never down their wife. Like, they would celebrate their wife. And I just feel like one thing I'm noticing is, yes, I have some married men that agree with Kevin, but if they went on live, there's no way in the world they would say, yeah, I run my household and my wife listens to me and she does what I say. They would not say that because they know their wife would kick their ass or whatever the case would be. They would be in trouble. They wouldn't disrespect the wife like that. So it's funny to me that a lot of single men agree with Kevin. So my question is, why aren't y'all married? If this is what, Kevin's not married. So
right.
If this is what works, and y'all feel like women need to do these things to be y'all wives, then where are y'all wives?
So let me speak to that. So I agree with you on that. But the thing is, men and women can't do the same thing. And double standards exist in life on both sides. There are some double standards that exist that favor women, and there are some double standards that exist that favor men. And more so than not, a lot of double standards that exist favor men. So men have the ability to date and roam for a longer period of time. Y'all discuss this all night pretty much. And they can just say, okay, I'm ready to get married. And they have more ability to, you know, recreate and stuff like that with children. Women can't do that because they're on a biological clock and their timeline is running short, you know, and that's the big difference. Another double standard is, you know, it may not be pretty, but like if you can get a man that's, let's say a man that's 32, a woman that's 32. A man at 32, he go out, have sex with 8 women, you know, he'd be considered a player or whatever you want to say. A woman go do the same thing, she could consider, you know, Jezebel, let's just say that. It's double standard because they not viewed the same. And I think a lot what's going on now, women be trying to do what men can do. Or they be trying to do what men can do, but it's not viewed the same. The rules are different. And that's where the equality thing, I want to be equal, you know, equal rights and this and that. That's cool. But when it starts happening, a lot of them start pushing back, like, because it's just not the same. The rules are different when it comes to men and women in certain aspects, in my opinion.
Okay, fair, and I appreciate your opinion. I really like talking to you. I felt like we had a good, you know, I hear you. I can't say, and I hear what you're saying. I guess I'm gonna just keep living in this exception to the rule island that y'all say I'm on or whatever, because it's just, I don't know. I feel like everybody's life plan is different, and you are right. But there's ways for women to procreate later on life. There's also adoption. A woman might say, you know what? I wanted a family. I can't have a baby. I'll adopt. She's still a mom in her way. And if the guy doesn't want to be with her, then that's what it is. That guy wasn't the guy for her. It's almost like, if what I desire is not for you, I respect that. But don't tell me nobody on this planet Earth is going to want to align their lives with me, because that's not fact either. It just means that what I desire, you didn't align with, and what you desire, I didn't align with. And you go on and you live your happy life, and then I'm going to do the same. Like, why can't that be a fact?
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. I think with that it's all about choice. Like women today have a choice to do what they want to do. And I think that's what he's speaking to. But I think he's also speaking to when you do make those choices come with consequences. And I think he's more so, you kind of get lost in the argument. But I feel like what he's speaking to, the general thing what he's speaking to is, okay, ladies, that's fine, you can do that. But when you do that and then you do decide to say, okay, I'm ready to get married now, then you have to kind of understand that there are certain consequences or just realities that's going to come with making choices at that time, and your options may be limited. Now, yes, there are plenty of women who wait long periods of time and get great guys and great men, but it's maybe not be the norm. But I think he kept saying that I know you're saying that it may not. You saying that he's saying it may not happen, but I don't think that's what he's saying.
Well,
I think
we
he's
got
saying
to that clarity. We got to that clarity because at first
okay.
I thought he was saying that he did correct that for me. So, all right, babe, I appreciate you for coming on.
Okay, appreciate you.
Yeah. All right, we'll try. Like, let me see. It's getting late. Let me see. Let me see. There's a lot. Ooh, I ain't gonna be able to get all these people. We'll be here all night, and we're not gonna be here all night. Let me bring a girl on, Samantha. Hello.
Hello. Okay, it's so much. The first thing I want to say is when you want women at a young age, say 21, 22, 25, to start having kids, the women that he talk about on his show, you got a kid, you're not going to find a man. They had kids at 21, 22, and 23. And you have women that realize they should have freaking waited. Now you're going to talk about the women who 40 something, and y'all should have had, if I would have had, because, okay, I'm 38, no kids, I'm single. Definitely been engaged, could have did the same route, chose not to, and I'm happy. Why do I have to just choose because I might think I'm not gonna have someone in the future? Why would I settle? I'm so steamy because these men have been pissing me off. The men in the comments, it's just like, are y'all serious? To me, honestly, the whole simp thing with Russell, that was just like, wow. For a man to feel like he can't put his woman, his wife, on a pedestal, for another man to say, oh, you a goofy. Why? Because he cherishes his wife. That's what this is the examples they're setting for our young men today. Treat a woman like shit. Like, I really, like, did you see your father treating your mothers like crap? To me, that's what I see. I really would like to know, what was your upbringing, Kevin? Did you have a mother and father that loved you, that loved on each other? Because to me, you didn't. To me, either your mama beat your ass, your daddy beat your ass, or a girlfriend beat your ass. Somebody beat your ass. Kendra, tonight I'm gonna have a drink and go to bed because this has got me just like crazy. It's crazy. I don't know.
Listen, I appreciate your stance. You kind of hit something on the head though that I was saying, because I was like, well, you're damned if you do, if you're damned if you don't. Only way you could look, I think, valuable in his eyes is if you're married. I think if you're just married, because I think if you're married in any accord, then that's the respectful way. But it's crazy because maybe you're at 20, like you said, there's women who have babies at 20s that wish they didn't have babies at their 20s. You know, there's women at 38 that are willing to go through whatever it takes to have a baby at 38. Like, why does it have to be like, oh, it's over, the doomsday, you know? But I see what you're saying, girlfriend.
Well, Kendra, I do watch you all the time, and you definitely handled yourself, because I was like, please curse his ass out. Please.
Well, I felt like the reason I didn't cuss him out because it would have ended. I knew he would have hung up on me. He ended up hanging up on me anyways. But I knew he would have hung up on me so much quicker. And I'm a big person when you go on somebody's platform. You know, it was my first time engaging with him. I thought I could have a better dialogue than what we did. But you know, it is what it is. I have my experience, and now I can make my own direct assumption.
That he's a piece of shit.
Bye,
Good night.
Bye. Okay, child, what time is it? Let me get a guy. Samson, right? I'm coming to you. Child, kiss my ass. Hello. Question. We done talked about that question. Now I'm about to really be who I am, because clearly, if you in the comments talking about that goddamn question still, you ain't been here long enough. Hi, baby. What's your name?
I missed it. How are you?
Oh, you missed the live?
No, for some reason Instagram was back like a whole minute. So I was a minute.
What did you see the live with Kevin Samuels?
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay, so what did you have anything to say?
No, I was just agreeing with the last lady. She was pretty on point until she started talking about him personally. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, his tone really turns a lot of people off, and really a lot of people can't listen to what he has to say after he kind of offends folks. So I definitely agree with a lot of people when they say that, like, they just get offended and they get turned off. So, I
Right.
mean, yeah, you got to
Thank
get
you
some
for coming
honey
on,
in
boo.
there. I'm sorry.
Thank you for coming on, baby. All right, bye. Yeah, I'm honestly sitting here thinking about all the married men that I know, and I swear to you, they will talk so highly about their wives. And I'm thinking of the men who treat their wives how women would like to be treated, and they're all very successful and make a lot of money. And they would 100% say that their wives made them a better person. So I was really confused when he said Russell Wilson was a simp to men, when there's men that I think a lot of men would respect and how they treat their wives. I mean, so if that's just the case, if that's what the men call it, then I want to simp, because that's what I'm going to be with. If a man celebrating his wife is considered a simp to other men, well, then sign me up for the simp, because I don't want the other ones. Y'all could be with somebody else. Hello?
Oh, hey,
What's your name,
I've
baby?
never gone live before on Instagram. How are you?
Good. What's your name?
Sal.
Oh, I'm gonna bring you on in a second, Prince. What did you want to say, boo?
Um, so I think a lot of the issue is men and women are just coming from different perspectives. And we also have different talking styles. So I feel like, just to hit this one, um, Kevin asked about the age range thing. And he felt like he was asking it so many times, and
Was asking it so many times because I can't give an age range.
well, I wanted to say, how do you feel about this sentence? He also laid out that, let's say the woman does want a family.
No, hold on, real
Um,
quick. With the age range, he clearly said, "Give me a number," because he kept saying, "Give me." I don't want to hear nothing. All I want to hear is a number. All I want to hear is a number. So that's where it got challenging for me, because I can't give you a number. So
true,
that's why,
true.
and that's why that was so difficult, because he was so focused on me saying a specific number, and I can't do that. So I don't understand, why is this so hard? Like, why does that make you so mad?
Well, he did. I think he meant age range. I think that's more so what he meant.
But I don't even
But
like that, to be honest, because I know a woman that had a baby at 47. So I mean, because the question was, if a woman's ready to have, if a woman wants to have children and wants to have kids, what age should she focus on that? And my thing is, I don't know when she's ready to be a wife, because every
so,
woman meets that moment at every different moment of her life.
this is another example of like kind of differences I noticed with his conversations with a lot of women.
Hold on a second. If I'm a little draining, you can get off the live. You don't got to be here. Ain't nobody forcing you to watch the live. So if I'm a little draining, then remove yourself from the party. Let me help you out. Since you a little drained, let me help you the hell out. Continue, boo. I'm sorry.
Don't worry about him. Um, but yeah, I think this kind of points to another theme that comes up. Almost every show of his that I watch is he, I think, wants to focus on the majority.
But
And
you can't ask me a question, because you're asking me the question. So you got to allow
no,
me to answer the question.
true, he's asking you in
He
terms
wants
of
me to
advice.
answer no, just like you. Y'all want me to say something that I'm not going to say, and then you get irritated because I don't agree with whatever your way you look at it. Why can't it just be like? Why is this so controlling? It's really actually controlling, because you're mad that I don't agree with you, and it's just like, let it go.
No, I understand what you're saying. There are exceptions. I think his thing was, if someone was to say, hey, most women who want a family, who want a husband, should look for a husband between the ages of, let's say,
Are you
23.
married?
No, I'm
Why are
not.
you not married?
Um, I don't know. I feel like the age range for me to get married is
So,
probably
so,
between.
so you have the ability to, for as long as you want, to decide, but the woman isn't afforded the same way that you feel.
No, I think there's a point where like getting married would not be optimal for me. So I think for men, like their 30s is probably the best time to get married. So that would be if someone asked me for what time should a guy get married, I would say you should try to get married in your 30s. I mean, you biologically you can in your 40s and your 50s and so forth. But I think if you want a family, if you want marriage, just the type of life you can have with your kids, in your 30s, it allows you to do certain things. You're more active. You can help your boy play football
How
or
old are
whatever.
you?
I just turned 30.
So you're almost in the danger zone.
No, the danger zone for us would be like 35 to 40.
Oh, you're not that far though. I need some
That's true.
theme music. So are you
That's
dating
true.
someone serious? Are you about to
I,
get married?
I think it is important that I start looking,
Okay.
but I think where a lot of women would push back is the idea of looking and focusing on it instead of not focusing on it at all. So I just felt like if someone said most women who want a family, right? This isn't just most women, period. That qualifier is important. So most women who want a family should start looking for a husband between 23 and 33. Let's say that doesn't strike me as an incorrect statement. Does that rub you the wrong way in any way? If someone was to say that. And of course,
It
there
does.
are exceptions.
It doesn't rub me in the wrong way because I just feel like if that's what that female wants to do, then so be it.
No,
I'm not,
not that.
but is that the law that I think every female should follow? I don't agree with that. But I feel like
No,
if that's what works for you, then absolutely. I don't think that's a bad thing. I also think that that's what women are supposed to do.
right. But if we were to, given what most women's lives are like, there are similarities between most women, right? So you could say, for example, most women make less than 100K, as do most men. There are many ways in which most people have certain things in common, right? So given the situations that most women are in, would it be fair to say most women who want a family should start looking for a husband between 23 and 33? And that's still no guarantee that you'll find one. It's just, is that a wise thing to do? Sometimes men find it
So
frustrating
you know
that,
why we're going in circles? Because I already answered this. And you just won't accept my answer. So that's the problem. I already told you I don't agree with that. Now, if that is true for you, then rock on. But I just
okay,
told you I don't agree to that. Yes, I
okay,
do agree biologically it would make it easier, but there's other ways for women to have children. So I'm a firm believer a woman should be a wife before she has a child. So if you decide that you want to have a child, you should potentially maybe be in a situation where you want to get married, but it doesn't always happen that way. Everybody's life is different. And I think the only reason why this is
okay,
still a conversation is because y'all just want me to say what you're saying is the answer, and it's not the answer. But I respect you, boo, and hopefully that works for you. And let me know when you get engaged. Bye, babe.
okay, will do.
All these single men, I'm just wondering. All you men agree with Kevin and y'all ain't got no fiancés? Wonder why. Wonder why. He ain't got a wife either. So do you really want a wife, or do you want to just break down women? Or do you want to just use this moment to break other women down? I'm trying to figure out, is this really like y'all trying to help women see your point of view? Or are you just enjoying women being broken down? Because y'all don't got no fiancés or nothing. The man telling you ain't got no wife. I can tell you firsthand, if I bring some husbands on the show, they ain't going to talk about their wives the way y'all want people to talk about their wives. So, the women ain't married, the men ain't married. So, Ben, you say you want to come on? Let's do it. And y'all say, I'm listening to everything he says. Hello?
How you doing?
How you doing?
Now, my thing was why do we have to be breaking down women? We're not I don't feel as though we're breaking you down. Now, Kevin, I understand the way how Kevin comes off to you women. That I do understand because it's very harshly and it's very down to the truth with it, but in a harsh way. So I can understand how y'all feel about it and how y'all take it. But I don't feel as though we're downing women.
We're just
Well, let
giving.
me say this. The reason I
Okay.
said that is I had a woman come up here, and when she came up here in the comments, I saw danger zone. She's bitter. She's overweight. So that's breaking a woman down.
But that's the comments. Let them be.
And then
And
and then you just said, Kevin, like, I'm all with self-help, right? But a girl said it perfectly. It's like you tell a woman not to have babies when she's young because now she has children at 23 and no man wants her. Then you say, oh, you 38, you won't have no kids, no man wants you. It's like, well, where's the wiggle room? Like, what is she supposed to do now? And my biggest thing is, I don't mind men giving their truth. I don't even mind, like, I have men say, I don't like girls with wigs. I don't get offended because I'm okay with that. I'm just not the woman for you. And it's that simple. Like, you can literally say, I don't want a dark skinned woman. It wouldn't offend me because I am fine, right? What I don't like is when I'm not offended, it's like you want me to be offended. Like, I almost felt like when Kevin would say something, he wanted me to be mad about it.
I can, and to be honest, I seen that in you, because it's like I seen you sitting there and you just like, Kevin, but, and you
Because I
shake
was
a
like,
little
I'm
bit, and
mad.
I seen that, and I wanted to say I seen that in you, and I don't want to say like I'm on Kevin's side too. Don't get me mistaken, but I'm on your side too, because I felt like, sometimes it's a little harsh the way how he comes off, but he's just giving you I hate to say it, the harshness of it. And I don't feel as though his harshness is so much of like trying to break y'all down. It's just he's trying to like, look, you can get this, but you got to be more optimistic about it. You got to look at it from a different point of view.
Well, I think I will say this. He did clarify on the exchange I had with him, because I always heard him say, like, if you're a single mom and you overweight and you 40 something, nobody wants you. But he did clear that up and said, I never said that. I'm speaking for high value men. So I was happy he cleared that up, because I always thought that's what he was preaching. It's like, it's a wrap. Nobody wants you. And then I have heard him say settle before, and I was trying to get a clarity of settle, because I've heard him say to women, go back to your husband. You should be back with him. Like, you out here, go back to him. But what if that man, a lot of times women leave for peace of mind or they're dealing with something. So I was just curious to know, is single and happy better than just being married? And then that pissed him off. Why would you bring a narrative where it's negative? Because sometimes that is an option. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes the reality is, if I'm with this nigga, he's cheating on me or I'm stressed out. So should I was wondering from my stance is leave. That's clear. But I was wondering if his stance was in that dynamic, do you leave? And then that turned left. So I felt like I was just trying to have a conversation, and every time,
I see what you're saying.
you know what I'm saying, it got twisted.
It was hopping from argument to argument to argument.
Like,
We're trying to get down to a point of what the last point was of the last argument, and we kept on hopping arguments. I see what you're saying. So it was becoming overwhelming. I can see what you're saying.
Right. And I mean, I think I asked you this. You said you are single, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all I'm just saying is, like, I wanted to engage with Kevin, but honestly, when it comes to marriage, things like that, I speak to married men, and married men that he would respect, because he talks about high value. I was surprised that he was so like, you got to worship him. Like, you don't worship your wife. And that's mind blowing, because all the men I know, they celebrate their wife.
Mm-hmm.
Happily so. Would tell you without a doubt, this is the woman that changed me and made me a better person. And in our, cool people, so, but
Right.
I appreciate the engage, and I appreciate you sharing your perspective.
Appreciate it. No problem.
Thank you, babe. All right, one more, then we're going to end. One more, and then we'll end. I think there was someone. Kevin don't got patience for you. Let me try. Different breed. I'm coming to you. Tomorrow night is the single show. Friday and Saturday nights. Ooh, child. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, how old are you, babe?
I'm 22.
Oh, you're 22.
Yeah.
Okay. What did you want to say?
All right. So to me, I think the whole point was, so my bad, I'm a little nervous. To me, I think the whole point was mixed up. I think the whole thing was he's just trying to help younger women understand what they want. So if they really prioritize in marriage, I think that's what they should focus on. You get what I mean? So I'm not really I agree with both y'all topics, but I think it's all up to the person.
Oh, I agree.
So that's
Up
what
to the person.
so that's when the confusion came in. So that's why I was like, when you was telling them, so when you was telling them, like, oh, you can't give them an age. It was like, well, if they really want to get married, then they should focus on that first. But if marriage isn't a big
No,
deal,
that's
and
not.
they
I
want
don't agree with that though. So I don't agree with that. So let me be clear. I don't agree with that. That is my answer. Okay, baby.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you for coming on.
All right.
All right. We can agree to disagree. That's what we're going to decide. Okay. Because I do not agree with that. So, but we'll agree to disagree. Fair enough. Hello?
Hi, how you doing?
How old are you, babe?
I'm sorry, you're breaking. Hello?
No. Child. Um, oh, I want to bring Prince on real quick. Add Kelly Gabana. Okay. Hey, Prince, did you watch the live?
No, I wasn't expecting it, so I wasn't. But people were sending me DMs like, "Do you see this? Come get on here." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And then when I came on here, I heard you talking about it. I was like, "But I don't like Kevin Samuels. So.
You don't like Kevin Samuels?
I don't like him. Mm-mm.
And your reasons?
Because I feel like he talks shit about women. I don't feel like there's a way you can approach it, and your delivery is not the way you should be doing it. I've seen a video of him when he was telling one girl who she was like, I think I'm an 8. And he's like, well, Beyonce is a 6, so you think you're on Beyonce's level? Like, who the fuck do you think you are? Like, I don't like his approach. I don't like the way he talks about women. So I don't like him and I don't agree with him. And I think when people are trying to say, well, he's just being real. He's just saying what people want to think. Speak for your damn self, because I don't think like that and I don't speak like that. Right. So you need to. And yes, I am gay, bitch. Anything else? I'm gay as fuck. Yep. I'll take your man, bitch. While you sitting here worried about if I'm motherfucking gay. Yes, I'm gay as shit. And I do not give a fuck. That's the real thing. That's what I wanted to say that real quick, just real quick. Y'all need to shut the fuck up about niggas being gay. Like, if they're gay, they still can have fucking opinions on fucking male issues. We are still men with your dumb asses. I can have any type of opinion on whatever the fuck I want to have an opinion on. So don't worry about my motherfucking opinion. Worry about your wig supplier, bitch, because clearly your shit is fucked. So don't come at me, because I'm not the one. But yes, continue. Because these little bald-head bitches, they done lost their motherfucking mind. You done lost your damn mind talking to all these other motherfucking niggas like you're stupid. Calm the fuck down.
Okay. Well.
But yes.
Well, on that note, thank you, Prince.
Yes, no problem.
You never let me down. Okay, look, we'll get one more real quick. I'll try to do one more. Tomorrow night is the single show. If you're single, you come on the show and shoot your shot and find love. Chris, I'm gonna bring you on. Hi, Chris.
How you doing?
Good. Did you watch the Kevin Samuels part?
Yes, I did. I did watch it.
Huh?
I did watch it. I think a lot of people have Kevin, the whole concept of what he's saying kind of misconstrued. Now, when I listen to you and I listen to you talk, I kind of wanted you to give an age, but you have your own perspective. And I think from Kevin's standpoint, I know, he says things kind of rudely, but one thing we got to understand is that he's just merely telling people a conversation that men have behind closed doors that I think men haven't had the courage to say to women, out openly.
Are you married?
Am I married?
Yes.
Kendra, I tell you, this time of night, not many married men gonna be on this live. At this time of night, not many married men gonna be on this live.
So but this is what I'm learning is that, how old are you?
Well, I'm 45.
Oh, you in the danger zone. You 45 and not married. Child, nobody don't want you. You too old. Let me say this. Like you said at the beginning, you wanted me to say what you wanted me to say, and that's the problem you had. That's the problem he had.
No.
I do not agree with that. I'm gonna say it 1,000 times. I believe a woman should be married before she plans on having a child. I don't know if at 23 she's in that circumstance. Maybe she'll meet her husband at 35. Maybe she'll meet her husband at 45 and now she got to do a surrogate or she got to adopt, or maybe she can't have a kid. And that's just what it comes to. But I'm not going to say by this age, make sure you have a baby, because what happens is you tell women to start doing stuff out of fear. And what if they don't end up with that man? And then now, like Kevin says, oh, you had a baby at 23 and you ain't with him? Nobody don't want you.
But if you think about it, I don't think he was telling you to tell women to have a baby, because I don't agree with that. I think you should be married before you have a kid. But I think he was more so asking you, like, when should they start considering having a child? But one of the things I also think we got to get to it is that for years, we've heard women talk. And one of the things I think we have to get to is that it's not that women aren't saying what they want and they don't deserve what they want, but they have to ask themselves a tough question is, what am I asking for? Am I what I'm asking for? Do I reciprocate that? Yeah.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
So when it comes to that, and I know it's said in a very harsh way from Kevin's standpoint, but the thing about from men and their standpoint, there are some women, and I'm gonna say something about you. For 40, you're 41 now. There are not many 41-year-old women that look like you now. So I could understand. You see what I'm saying? So it's not a norm. Now I'm not saying you don't have many of them, but it's not a norm. And a lot of women have a certain standard that they, and what I feel like Kevin is trying to tell them is, don't overlook all the guys, because there are some guys that they may be blue collar type guys, but they may be really good men for them. But they're taking that money, sometimes the money, into a perspective where it's killing a lot of the men.
But listen, I agree with that though, because I came on saying I've always dated what he considers high value men, and I learned that I don't like that because they always come with other women. So the money thing isn't necessarily my primary goal. I think I said I want to be attractive. Why he gotta be attractive? You gotta be attractive. I was like, I can't, I'm saying he don't gotta be rich. I would like him to be attractive. He don't gotta be drop dead gorgeous, but at least I find him attractive. And then he said, but your price is too high. So I say I'm not gonna focus on a high value guy, and I'm willing to date a guy that will care about me. But then he said, your price is too high. So it's like, well, damn, Kevin, should I just commit suicide right now? Because according to you, if I was to listen to you, then I'm just damned. And I know that's not fact.
Yeah, and that is, if you lawyers, well, I'm not going to say lawyer standard, but if you make your choice where you say, you know what, he didn't have to be 6 figures or whatever, but I do want him to be attractive, I think you can find that.
Yeah.
There's no way you can find that. But you do have some of your friends that you look at them sometimes, you may say, come on now, really? I mean, like, they're not like, and I'll give you a prime example, and I'm not saying some men don't like it, but I've seen women, and I don't want to get into the weight thing because it's more different things, but I'm just going to use it because I've heard it before. I've heard women that don't like to go to the gym at all. And then they'll say, for me to talk to a man, he's got to be in shape. He's got to be this. And I'm like, but you're not reciprocal what you're asking for. I'm not saying you can't get it, but you're not reciprocal what you're asking for. So you're actually asking for something that you're not willing to give yourself. I always say you got to be good in 3 parts: mind, body, and spirit. And if you can give somebody all 3 of those parts, if you're demanding those 3 parts, then you need to be able to give those 3 parts. So I think that's something that people need to take into consideration when they get into it.
And I agree with that. I actually wholeheartedly agree with that. I believe, and that's why I was saying, and I think I said this several times, there are things that he says that I agree with, because I've heard other men You know,
Yeah.
talk about weight a lot. That's something that I hear men talk about a lot. I even heard men talk about hair leaves. And I actually don't even get offended because I'm like, that's cool. I'm just not the girl for you. But I respect it. But I respect it.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at you for saying that's not your preference. So I agree with that. I do believe that if you want certain things, if you want a guy in shape, you definitely should be a person that's going to the gym yourself. There's no debate there.
Yeah. And I'm not going to hold you much longer, but I do think we have to have this conversation. And one of the things I think we really have to get to is that, you know, if women really want to hear men, because, you know, they always say we need to hear men talk, but we have to be able to listen to them. And the thing about it is sometimes it's not going to come out in an eloquent way. So they have to be open to hear it and not so quick to shut it down before. Because a lot of times when a man shuts down, a lot of times they just don't say nothing. After a while, they say, okay, you got it. And they just shut it down. But are we really communicating when we do that? So I think that's something that we just got to get to, and then we got to be willing to hear it.
Got you. Well, I appreciate you coming on, babe.
I appreciate you.
Thank you. If you're single, come on my show tomorrow night. I can hook you up.
Hey, look, we can talk.
Come on the show tomorrow night. All right, bye, babe. Listen, at the end of the day, this was dope. I loved hearing everybody's different perspective and point of view. You know, it's all good. Y'all gonna have your point of view. I have my point of view. Everybody got their point of view, and I appreciate it. Tomorrow night is a single show. Come back. 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. This is different than Kevin's show. You get to come on, and I'm going to ask you some questions, and if there's somebody that likes you, they will DM you, and they will hit you up, and you can make a love connection like that. That's tomorrow night. I'll see y'all tomorrow night. Bye, y'all.